I'm popping. Hits, no misses. Clean up like the dishes. Ain't no point telling me to stop, cause I won't listen. Every level got a new devil. I'ma give him hell cause I don't know better. I'm a born winner. I'm going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to make me ever give up. Let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm getting close. I can taste it. I'm going up like a spaceship. I'm shaking the ground. I'm making it loud. I go to work when nobody's around. It's time to get it. It's time to go. It's time to shine. It's my time to blow.
Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wonder why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Go have a good day today. Like I said, load all the fans. Thank you guys for coming out. We got a great crowd today. Everybody listen at home.
If you push, I'm defiant. Just try it. It is bound to get violent when you walk this way.
Do it. All four tires face the same direction at the end of this thing. Ready? Green, 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 green. Good, baby. Put the pressure on that little. You know what? You get it. Crash behind you. Just past halfway, bud. Just past halfway. A lot of racing to go. Take care of your stuff. That car up there is your next spot. Hit him. Yeah, man, let him come to you. Don't push him. White flag, nice and smooth. Checker flag.
If it's Wednesday, that means it's the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational from Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, folks. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined tonight in the Slingshot TV booth by Sal Nicosia and producers Kobe, keeping us rolling behind the scenes. This 1.5-mile track was opened back in 1960, and according to some, most of the work on the $1.8 million project was done at a breakneck pace within weeks of opening day. And on July 31st, 1960, 25,000 people turned out for the first race, the Dixie 300. Legend Fireball Roberts won that first race, and many other household names like Earnhardt, Gordon, and Edwards have visited Victory Lane here. The Speedway has hosted more than just races. 6 weeks before Woodstock, on July 4th and 5th, 1969, more than 100,000 people who didn't look much like race fans journeyed to the track for the Atlanta International Pop Festival, which hosted artists like Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, and even Creedence Clearwater Revival. Dale Earnhardt reigned supreme here at Atlanta with a record-breaking 9 Cup Series wins. His dominance surpassed racing legends like Yarborough and Labonte. However, a near-fatal crash back in 1976 almost cut his career short. Sal, fun fact for the night. There's a spot just beyond the track where an old church cemetery sits in a grassy field. Its tombstone's a counterpoint to the energy and intensity that lies inside Atlanta Motor Speedway. These invitational drivers are hoping their cars don't end up at the graveyard at the end of the night. What are these drivers going to have to do to avoid that fate? Let's talk about what this race looks like from the get-go.
Yeah, well, hopefully the exits off turn 2 and turn 4 here at Atlanta tonight won't be as scary as that cemetery out back, Ellis. This is a 110-lap race. These guys will be running really hard all night long. We're going to see some interesting strategy. We're going to see fuel come into effect here. 53 to 55 laps a run just about here if our calculators are set up right. And we've got 3 sets of tires here tonight at Atlanta, and they will use them.
They're going to be using a lot of tires and a lot of wheel in these cars tonight. We're going to see that green flag. We're going to see that racing shortly. But before we do that, and before we get your pre-race stories going, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition. Folks, rise and remove that cap if able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back on the other side. Welcome back here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're getting ready for race number 2 of the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational from Slingshot Racing League. It's time to hit up the pre-race stories, and that starts with the results and the positions in the standings after last week at a wild season opener at Daytona. We saw a last lap crash that led to Brian Brobst, who had been running up front before that, to claim his first victory of the season. And really, Sal, the points kind of reflect the finishing order last week at Daytona. How important is it to be up in the front of the points this early in the season and capitalize on some momentum in that wild card race at Daytona?
Well, it's going to be absolutely crucial just to be able to get every point you can. Being able to run up at the front is great, but being able to have the awareness to run consistently, avoid wrecks, and be there at the end. It's all about balancing that aggressiveness and that conservative level of just wanting to get to the finish. But early points, standings, these drivers are going to be really happy as they're heading into a really tough schedule here in the Stand-Up Fight League in these Gen 4 cars. And I'm sure that'll look a lot different after tonight here at Atlanta.
I think you make a good point. A lot of these guys are going to be looking to stay up here, but it's going to be tough sledding tonight here at a very hot, slick, difficult Atlanta Motor Speedway, which leads us into our 4 stories. For you fans watching at home, we appreciate you tuning in. We try to provide some pre-race stories for you at home to keep an eye on and some things for us to talk about during the race. So the first one of those big stories that we are going to be following is tires. How important, Sal, is it to hang on to your tires with just 3 sets tonight in total? How difficult is that going to be for these guys?
Well, tires are of the utmost importance here. This track is less asphalt, more cheese grater in a lot of situations here. An old surface with tires that just love to fall off. As the runs go on, these guys are going to lose a little bit every lap. And having that control over the car, having that grip is everything at a track that carries this much speed as well. So it's going to be crucial. It's at the top of our storyboard for a reason, and we'll see how well everybody can conserve.
And kind of speaking of that, you mentioned it, this track chews up tires. Part of the reason it does so is because these cars are so loose. We've been talking to some of the drivers on the grid before the race starts, and they're talking about just on the straightaway, Sal, managing the throttle and not getting these cars sideways is difficult. That very well might be a spot to watch tonight, which normally the straightaways aren't a problem, but these drivers are complaining a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of behind the scenes here. We're watching these drivers practice and get ready to take on the event here. And a lot of the wrecks are coming as they're coming out of the kind of tri-oval right past the start-finish line. So a lot of speed, carrying a ton. Cars are loose, slipping and sliding all over. It's going to take a lot of heads-up awareness to get through this one tonight for these guys.
Heads-up awareness is going to be critical, especially in the early goings of restarts where these cars are going to be bunched up more so than any other phase of the race, and disaster can strike in a moment. With these big packs here, at least early on, you got to stay clear of any disaster. So keep an eye out for a potential big one, and maybe a story that goes hand in hand with that. Just 110 laps tonight, 165 miles, not a long race by any stretch of the imagination. How important is moving to the front early going to be tonight?
Well, it's going to be a balance of taking advantage of the opportunities you can. You mentioned restarts. That's a great opportunity for drivers to get up, jump some spots, and be at the front of this field wherever they can get. It's going to be tough, though, to balance, again, that aggressiveness versus how loose these cars are and how long these tires will stay on them. So it's every ingredient you need for an exciting recipe of a race.
Well, speaking of an exciting race and speaking of being up front, let's go ahead and start with the Evan Pianta design starting grid tonight. We'll walk you through each starting position. Aaron Smith, strong run last week, moved to the front from the back very early on. Aaron Smith going to be starting up front on the pole in that number 70 machine. An iconic look for Aaron Smith. Braxton DeWeese, tough competition. He's had some Slingshot Racing League wins before. A former Slingshot champion. He's going to be starting on the outside of row 1 in the 8. Chris Smith, a proven winner in Slingshot Racing, is going to be starting from 28th in that stand-up fight machine tonight with Scotty Sobczak to his outside. Josh Ward, the 92, starting 5th tonight with Rye Jones in that black and purple number 91 to the outside of row 3. Dylan LeBeau starting 7th in that number 20 machine. He's got speed. We'll see where he can go tonight. Evan Pianta in that 55. Also, lots of speed in that 55, going to be starting 8th tonight. Chris Pierce, who actually designed a lot of the graphics you're going to be seeing on the screen tonight, starting 9th in that 25 with Ryan Hinkle in that Mountain Dew number 21, starting 10th.
In row 6, it's Robert Brobst in the 5 car. That Terry Labonte scheme looking good out there on track. On the outside of him is Samuel Stoner. 13th place is Devin Jack starting off the evening tonight, and 14th is Joey Stankovitz. 15th, it's Johnny Rapp. And 16th, it's Brandon Ayers. 17th, we've got Justin Wilson. Ran really well last week up toward the front for a period of time at Daytona. Alongside of Patrick Colby in the 87 machine. And in 19th, we've got one of the Danforths. It's James in the 88, as well as in 20th place, Jacob Phillips in the 56.
The rest of the starting order going to scroll across the screen to your left right now. Drivers tightening those belts one final time, getting the last messages from their crew chiefs and spotters. That pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn. This is going to be the most chaotic, the most tense portion of the race. So let's watch out for what happens. We're getting ready to go racing for 110 laps from Atlanta. It's the Peach 165 for the Stand-Up Invitational Fight Series. Let's go racing. Headed down into turn one. That's Aaron Smith side by side with the white car of Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese looks to have an edge off of turn two. They begin to make their way down the backstretch for the first time tonight. Now single file for the top three, but a big move from looks like Ryan Jones in that 91 for third position.
Everybody here keeping it pretty straight. A great restart to get going here at the beginning of this race. Really easy to get out of shape, but everybody staying in line, not pushing, understanding where their place is on this racetrack, giving each other space, and really looking forward to 110 laps here at Atlanta.
I think patience really is a virtue, and that has been instilled in these drivers' heads by their teammates, by their crew chiefs, by their spotters, and certainly us in the broadcast. Right now, everyone minding their P's and Q's. One car looks to the outside. You're watching Ryan Jones do battle with that number 81 of Scotty Sobczak. That's a battle right now for the fourth position. It's Ryan Jones who wins that one. Right behind them is the 28 of Chris Smith, not too far behind, trying to fight for that fifth position.
Yeah, and there's a small pack of cars even further back there. The 5 of Robert Brobst, the 92 of Josh Ward, all side by side there for a minute. And that 49 of Devin Jack just waiting in the wing to get a hold of the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th all happening at the same time.
That's a dicey place to be, Sal. On the outside, kind of uncertain territory early on. You can see just how hard that 49 of Devin Jack sends it in up top, and that is dicey, uncertain territory right now.
Yeah, that top line is fast as you see him complete the pass on Josh Ward there coming out of turn number 2. It's really difficult on tires on the top because it will start to shave off as you run that line. It'll be interesting to see how Devin Jack continues forward here. It looks like he slipped in line behind Brobst, and they'll mind their P's and Q's and continue on here.
For the fans watching at home, right now you're seeing a lot of single file racing. This is going to start to pick up in terms of action because these drivers are driving on a incredibly rough cheese grater like surface, as Sal put it in the pre-race. These tires are going to go south really quick. They're going to lose a lot of their good very early on, maybe even 15 to 20 laps into what we expect to be a 50-lap run if we are to stay green. Braxton DeWeese currently scored as your leader. You're watching it right now. That lead is opened up by about 4 to 5 car lengths back to the 70 car of Aaron Smith. Smith just giving you a little bit of history for Slingshot Racing League for the fans watching at home who might recognize that name, or maybe newcomers as we ride on board with Braxton with a car back in 12th or 13th position. Aaron Smith is incredibly good at saving tires, and that's going to be something we really have to keep an eye on tonight. You can see the driver right now sawing the wheel in that car, just how difficult it is to make it through these front straightaways, through those straightaways and the corners. It's a struggle, requires a lot of control of that wheel.
Yeah, there's going to be no shortage of work inside the car for these drivers tonight. The car is just high horsepower, soft rubber on a rough track. Like we talked about, cheese grater-esque, but definitely losing that grip faster than a traditional track that maybe even tracks we've been to so far. Daytona this year, totally different from other quote-unquote super speedway or drafting style tracks. Old Atlanta, definitely not maybe what viewers at home are used to seeing week in and week out in the modern era of NASCAR Cup Series racing.
I think you're absolutely right. Watching Robert Brobst right now behind Devin Jack. Great little battle going on between that 5 car and that 49. Jack has really been making that outside work. He's up 6 positions after starting 13th. That car is on the move. The biggest mover so far in the race is that number 49 car. He's doing it on the high side. Want to point out to the folks watching at home, yeah, he looks fast right now, but Sal, I'm a little bit concerned about the potential tire wear that running the faster and longer way around this track could be having quite the impact on that 49 car as we watch this run progress. I'm curious to keep an eye on that 49.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that he has stayed up on that top side. You'll see it here as he comes sailing off into turn 1. That car is definitely slipping and sliding just a little bit. At least it was on the last lap pretty noticeably, as Devin Jack looks to continue this run, but able to control it, able to keep great speed, and hopefully the gamble of running that up there and burning those tires up maybe a little more than his competitors works out, as he's, like you said, the biggest mover so far here tonight.
Speaking of biggest movers, watching right now, Rye Jones trying to hold off Dylan LeBeau. That 20 car has been fast as well, started 7th, and he's working on that 3rd position. Dylan LeBeau running some fast laps, and I'm starting to see drivers migrate up to the second lane on the track. Looks like drivers is starting to experiment as you watch that shot down the back straightaway. Some of those drivers coming off near the wall, pretty high out of the corner. I think we're really going to start to see some comers and goers here in the next 15 laps or so. It's going to be something to keep an eye on, but this battle for 3rd position continues to intensify. Up front, the battle is still about a car length or 2 back behind Braxton DeWeese, Aaron Smith, just kind of lurking in the background right now in that 70. And one thing, if you've watched Slingshot Racing League races on this channel before, one thing you probably recognize a lot of these drivers' names. I'm counting the top 15, and I think every single driver in that top 15 has won a Slingshot Racing League race before. Sal, this is a field that drivers, it was invite only. The best of the best, the cream of the crop from Slingshot Racing League for the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. And I think almost 15 laps in, we're seeing it. Drivers really holding a pretty wheel tonight. Stiff competition out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the best of the best are here, and they're putting it on display as we see Brobst and Ward there. Some action as they're side by side. Brobst, you talk about the best of the best, was pretty sideways there as they were getting into it just for a second as that battle continues on. But comers and goers, Ellis, this is something that's going to be a matter of what we spoke about earlier, where it's a matter of patience. Will you push your competitor? Will your competitor push you so early on in a race? Obviously, every point, every spot matters so much here in this series, and these guys want it more than anybody else, but it's going to be patience as the virtue here tonight at Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. The crew chiefs on top of the pit boxes, preaching patience tonight. Watching Robert Brobst try to complete that lap, but Josh Ward's going to kind of steal a move out of Brobst's playbook and move to the high line. We've seen several drivers work that to their advantage tonight, and Brobst was one of those drivers. Now he's having that move put on him. But battle for the lead. You can see it up at the front. Just about a car length separates first from second, and almost the same distance back to a closing Ryan Jones. You can see him experimenting with lines just a little bit, moving up and down the track. I've seen Aaron Smith kind of do the same thing. You can see that run. He gets off the corner. Ryan Jones peeking that nose as we ride on board to the inside a little bit. Aaron Smith going to at least wait another corner till he contemplates his next move.
Yeah, really interesting to see the strategy here as we get deeper into the run. These cars changing underneath of the drivers as we got some action back there. The 55 making a move there on the 5 of Brobst. That looked like it could have gone bad there in a real hurry, but everybody keeping it together, calm, cool, and collected. These 3 drivers going to battle it out for this 10th place position.
You mentioned that's a battle for the 10th position. 9th, 10th, and 11th there, right on top of each other. Evan Pianta, that lead car in that number 55, he's not a stranger to victory lane in Slingshot Racing League races, racing right in front of former champion Justin Wilson, who's got a handful with Robert Brobst right behind him. I can't get over how stiff this competition is. And as we watch the battle for second position, as they cross the line, that's Rye Jones and that purple machine. He climbs the banking to second position. And I'm a little caught off guard by how tight these cars are still packed. Almost 20 laps into this first run here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Watching that battle box, DeWeese, the leader, and Jones running almost identical lap times right now. And third and fourth aren't that far off.
Now it's going to be there's a lot of factors that are going to help contribute to this. I think everybody is just kind of taking their time, not getting over aggressive to cook their tires off. And it's proving to show these similar style lap times like the battle box had just shown us. And it's going to be really interesting how drivers want to set each other up to make these passes here. We just saw Rye Jones make that pass for second, but he's chasing the leader now, so definitely not going to be as easy.
Watching this tracker right now, we're watching the corner tracker for Rye Jones. You can just see how he compares to the driver in front of him, and that is Braxton DeWeese. Minus is bad, plus is good, and right now you can see that through the center of the corner, Rye Jones seems to be rolling it just a little bit better. He's losing some time in and maybe gaining a little bit on the way off, but right now that 91 is looking like he very well might be the fastest car on the track, and that time by, he was scored as the fastest lap of the race. So that 91 really coming in on the long run here. And I think that's something to really focus on as we move through this race, is who's fast early on versus who is saving their stuff, Sal, as you've been mentioning. And the question is, do we get a long run at the end of this race, or is it a short, quick restart for a 5-lap shootout, or maybe even less, because that could dictate who wins this race?
Yeah, it's all going to come down to strategy, when cautions fall, if they fall, and how drivers are going to approach those situations as they come up here tonight. You talked about Rye Jones' corner speed as he looks to make a move to the bottom here. We've seen him experiment with those lines here at Old Atlanta so far during this race, as he's maybe going to get an inside line here on Braxton DeWeese. That experimentation paying off for him as he's getting further and further in this run, gaining speed every single lap.
You mentioned that battle for the lead has not died down. It's been a variety of different drivers. Pull a name out of a hat, and they've been in that front pack over the first 22 laps of this race. And you can see how fast that 91 is through the center of the corner, proving out what we saw in that corner analysis a little bit more. And that is something to be impressed with, because you don't see it right now in these cars, but these drivers are managing that throttle, just treating it like there's an egg right underneath the throttle pedal. That's how careful they have to be with this. One car loose, I believe that was the 20 of Dylan LeBeau struggling down the backstretch. I think you just saw it play out right there.
You talk about that egg. That egg might have a little bit of a crack in it there in LeBeau's 20. He's looking to just get every little bit of speed, as he did it again there off the exit of turn 4. It only takes that little bit of added throttle to get you sideways with the lack of grip here. Everybody going to have to take it really gingerly without backing off their competition. That's what makes this place so exciting.
Folks, if you are just now tuning in, we are so glad you joined us. You are catching it at the best time. I think this entire race is the best time, but battles going on all over the track right now. Let us know who you're rooting for. We've already got some folks in the chat as we watch this race going on for the 11th and 12th position. Let us know who you're rooting for. We've already got LJ in the chat. Chris DeWeese, we're glad you're back watching Braxton run up front. Mark Fique, Cameron Ellis, we're glad you're all here. Let us know who you're rooting for in that chat. This battle for the lead, I suppose we got probably a couple fans for all these drivers running up front. Battle for second position. Aaron Smith has decided it's time to mash the hammer down, because he's looking to the inside of the 91 of Rye Jones. And just historically speaking, Rye Jones is incredibly fast, but one of his weaknesses has been on the long runs. And I'm wondering if we're about to see the counterpoint here with Aaron Smith, who's notorious for being good on the long runs. Maybe this is a good indicator of where the crossover point is. We're on lap 26 right now, but I say that, and look at Rye Jones looking to the outside. He gets a little bit of the wall, but battle for the lead with Braxton DeWeese. That 91 climbs the banking in turn 3, and he might have the momentum as they come onto the front straightaway.
These two cars are going to go nose to nose here Rye Jones going to have a little bit of an edge here across the start finish line, and he's going to take the lead on lap number 27. Get this thing rolling. Braxton DeWeese not going to back down though. This is a battle that's just getting started.
I feel like they're listening to us because Rye Jones, as soon as I started saying, slipping back a little bit, he lifted a whole new lever in that thing, pulled a whole new gear, and shot out to a 3 or 4 car length lead, one of the biggest leads we've seen all day long. Watching that battle box, looking at how Braxton DeWeese maybe compares to Rye Jones. And if we were focusing on that number 8, what you would likely see is that lead is increasing. Braxton DeWeese losing a little bit of ground, similar pace right now, but Rye Jones was able to stretch that lead out by about 3 or 4 car lengths, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that number change here in just a little bit. The battle really has continued to pick up for 4th position right behind these guys as that top 3 battle settles down a little bit. Back in 4th, it's Dylan LeBeau, Devin Jack, Chris Smith, and Josh Ward. Throw a blanket over these guys, even add Justin Wilson into that battle for 5th. This is where I get nervous, Sal. If I'm in the pack, if I'm in 4th, 5th, 6th, cars are starting to lose their handling, and suddenly we're finding each other on the track together in a big old pack that could be 3 wide at any moment.
Yeah, it gets hairy even being 2 wide in some of these situations as the run goes on longer and the tire, as the 28 there looks like he's looking down on the inside. LeBeau gonna give him a little bit of a block there as that battle starts to heat up even more. Wasn't sure it could get more heated than that, but as Jack will stay on the inside, looks like he's gonna get a good run off the corner here, but the 92 of Josh Ward going to come out with that spot that everybody was fighting for, P4 for Josh Ward right now.
And if you're a Dylan LeBeau fan, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think we're seeing exactly what Sal and I were talking about earlier. LeBeau had moved up 7 positions earlier in the race, and you can see just how bad that 20 car is handling. Those tires are screaming right now, Sal. I think they're ready to be changed at any moment.
Yeah, that 20 car has been slipping and sliding a lot. And like we talked about, we don't want to put the whammy on anybody, but it's just a matter of how well are you managing your tires and how much can you hold on. This is a similar conversation about the leaders here as Rye Jones continues out on his march at the front. Is the 8 of Braxton DeWeese and the 70 of Aaron Smith, are they just slower, or are they kind of lifting a little earlier, saving a little bit more of their tire as they're watching this run go longer and longer and longer here now, lap 32 of this 110 lap race?
Well, Sal, you mentioned it as we ride on board here on the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese. You mentioned that as we were watching some of the final laps of practice, you noticed several drivers surprising how early they were lifting on that throttle before heading into the corner. This requires discipline. It requires patience. The temptation, this siren song, so to speak, is to whiz that thing down into the corners, to climb the banking and grab as many spots as you can and sail it off the corners down the straightaways. And these 3 drivers have really shown the discipline required not to do that. And it's why they're the top 3 here, almost 35 laps into this 110 lap race. They've got the stuff. We watched one car come down pit road. I believe we are looking at the the Jordan Ives machine. That is the number 31 machine. First taker on pit road. We believed a fuel run was somewhere between 50 and 55 laps, Sal. So that car, that Jordan Ives, maybe pushing it a little bit earlier, maybe looking for the undercut here, or maybe just hoping a caution doesn't come out before we can get everyone down pit road. Battle for the lead.
It's a great opportunity to short pit as we have the battle for the lead happen here. Maybe he feels things are heating up on track to a point where better to get it in while the getting's good, and have that for later on in the race as he sets up his strategy. But that's a 70 of Aaron Smith, absolutely working Rye Jones on the bottom, making him really get up on the wheel as Braxton DeWeese takes a look to the outside. He's going to challenge Rye Jones now for the 2nd place position down on the bottom, entering turns 3 and 4.
Battle for second place, maybe even a battle for the lead. Braxton Deweese with a head of steam makes his way by the number 91 of Jones, who's now going to fight back with that run that we've seen all night long come from the outside. He's not going to be able to capitalize on that, though. Mark Braxton Deweese down for P2. He sets his eyes on the leader, and all the cars move up the track. Jones in the wall, third place. Trouble for the Purple Machine. Big contact for the 91 right now. And all three drivers moved up to the top of the track, maybe experimenting, maybe trying to follow in each other's tire track. And I think we saw the number 91 kind of fall victim to that there. I'm interested to know maybe the thought process in moving up to the top, maybe seeing if the cars are handling a little bit better up top as they continue to experience loose conditions down low. You can see Braxton Deweese apparently still likes it up there.
Yeah, something about that top line for Braxton Deweese is working. Different than it did for Rye Jones. Could have been a lot worse for that 91 car as he was battling, but something about that top line speed that they're searching for and is working as Deweese going to get to the bumper of Smith here maybe on the exit of 4. These two guys just absolute specialists in what they do, and they're putting on a show at the front of this field. As we have a couple more cars look like they're coming down pit road here, takers for a short pit.
Yeah, Benson Weaver, Derek Fike, both coming down pit road. It looks like we're now on lap 38 of 110. It's a battle for the lead you're watching right now. It's Aaron Smith. Braxton Deweese makes the move to the inside, seeing if he can't get by that number 70 of Aaron Smith, trying to claw back that lead, but Smith making hay on the outside. That seems to be the place to be right now. You can really harry or slow down a driver and make it very difficult to pass by running that outside line. Sal, it might not be good for the long run, but if you're looking for a quick get up, a quick benefit, using that outside to hold off the driver behind you or make that pass for at least a lap could be the way to go. And I think these drivers are beginning to learn that as we see more of them experimenting with the upper limits of the track right now on lap 40.
Yeah, Braxton Deweese, I mean, absolutely just glued to that top line. Something absolutely feels good for him. He's been crisscross applesauce in the 70 all night long, trying to look to that outside, to that inside, wherever he can. Oh, and he gets a little bit of the wall there. He's sideways through turn 2. Oh, no, he's going to head down to the apron. No wall. He misses the wall, but it's going to be detrimental damage there for the 8. It's going to lose a ton of track position. Oh, goodness, that's going to set him back quite a way.
Deweese with a save. It was a tense moment there for driver number 8. From second position, you're starting to see handling become a factor. Sal, I think that 8, if he got contact to that inside wall down the backstretch, it was just by the slightest of margins. We'll keep an eye on the speed of that number 8 car, but it looks like he's got that thing back up into 4th gear and is continuing on his march now on lap 41 of 110. This thing is clicking away at a blistering pace from Hot Atlanta. Again, race number 2 for Slingshot Racing League's Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. And boy, it hasn't been Muay Thai fighting out here tonight like the Stand-Up Fight Series, but these drivers have had their hands full battling the track and battling each other for at least about 25 minutes now as we watch Braxton Deweese trying to get his mojo and get his rhythm back, chasing down 4th place Justin Wilson. We're getting close to green flag pit stops coming up shortly. One thing I want to draw attention maybe to a couple places further back in the field. Right now, the 9 car, Peter Stewart back in 17th and 18th. We've got a big old battle going on back here. These drivers have found each other on the track, headed through turns 3 and 4. Evan Pianta right in front of them coming off that corner loose. These things are starting to catch each other, and it could not come at a worse time because the handling is in the gutter for these things right now.
Yeah, there's some of these drivers out here who are praying for that green flag pit stop to come sooner than later as we see big wiggles from some of these drivers, especially off the corner of 4, especially off the exit of the turn 4, as Pianta down there on the bottom going to continue to do battle with Peter Stewart. Stewart been running really consistently there in that second lane all evening. It's really going to come down to who's got more tire as the 9 gets around the 55. Looks like he'll take another one with him there.
Oh, the birthday boy, that 32 of Sean Johnson. A little bit of a wiggle, maybe a birthday dance for Sean Johnson. Coming out of turn 2, we heard in the chat, Lauren Howie says, happy birthday, number 32. No script, just grip. We're not going to ask how old Sean Johnson is, but Lauren, if you want to let us know in the chat, we're not going to object. Happy birthday to that driver, number 32. Evan Pianta, incredibly loose on the inside. I think it's time for that 55 to make his way down pit road, and the driver and crew chief agree. He pits from the 9th position, Sal. I think we're about to see a bevy of pit stops come up here in just a moment.
Yeah, not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop, but the slide there on the off of corner 4 really didn't leave him much of a choice. It was time. I think you're absolutely correct. You're going to see a bunch of drivers start to make this pit cycle happen under green flag condition. It will be interesting to see how maybe the strategy of the long run pit stop plays to the drivers we saw pit a little earlier in this run. Is, you know, guess when a caution's coming is like flipping a coin, as we have another driver now down in the grass.
The 67. Really struggling there down there. That's the 67 of Derek Fike. He's going to get it going. We're still under green, but when these things go south and when these things lose their handling, it is incredibly hard to get it back. You can see the wiggle in that thing, that throttle. You got to have the egg, the proverbial egg, as Sal and I were talking about earlier. Right now, Derek seems to have gotten it gathered back up, but I think he's going to be looking for a pit stop as we watch just what happened here to that number 67 off of turn 4.
Oh, yeah, it looks like he was trying to come into pit there, just couldn't slow it up. One way or another, grabs a little bit of the apron there, and it sent him loose sideways around in the grass, but good on him for keeping it straight and not bringing out that caution as we stay under green flag here. Lap number 48 of 110.
These drivers screaming for tires at this point. I think the good news for them is we watch another car, Brian Brobst, last week's winner at Daytona, struggled to make his pit stop. Not sure what's going on there in the cockpit of that number 11, but certainly not the run. He gets that tire right side jacked up. Not the position he was looking for, the run he was looking for after that win, thrilling win at Daytona last week. It's going to take a big effort if he's going to maintain the points lead. Watching Rye Jones right now doing his best to try to catch the leader. Further behind them, Braxton DeWeese is kind of in the middle of a hornet's nest right now. Josh Ward, Chris Smith, and then the number 5 of Robert Brobst, who's already made a pit stop right in the middle of that pack. And Sal, one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on over the next couple laps, fresh tires versus old tires. You're starting to see the differential here as we watch 3 wide on the front straightaway.
Yeah, better to leave that be there as they were coming through the front stretch. Braxton DeWeese really up on the wheel here, but the 5 of Brobst making a good run. These guys really on this bottom line holding on, trying not to slide up into the competition, but still make those lap times happen as Brobst able to make the move on DeWeese. DeWeese backing out of it maybe just a little bit here, living to fight another day as he may be preparing for his pit stop.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of cars coming down pit road in the next couple of laps. Brandon Ayers, that 8 continues to be loose. Joey Stankovitz, Brandon Ayers, Brian Brobst, all have made pit stops. The cars you're watching right now have not made pit stops. That's a battle between Chris Smith and Josh Ward. Smith in that stand-up fight, number 28. He's a seasoned veteran, a proven race winner, as is Josh Ward as they work their way by that number 11 of Brian Brobst, who's already made his way down pit road. He's got to feel like Superman on those fresh tires at the moment, working his way underneath Chris Smith, trying to get back to the leader to get that lap back naturally is Brian Brobst. Watching right now, Josh Ward and Chris Smith continue to track on. We're getting close to really being out of fuel here. Just 3 or 4 laps, I would imagine, and we're going to have to see these leaders come down pit road at any moment. Keep an eye on that number 70 as we watch this pack. The number 17, the 13 of Matt Kuntz, all on top of each other right now. This is really for the 18th position, and boy, I would not want to be in this pack. One car makes a move right in front of them, but we're really looking at Peter Stewart, Chase Berry, Matt Kuntz, Jay Leach back there on that number 2 with Dan Berg right behind them. This is the danger zone, and I just can't help but marvel at how these drivers are hanging on to these things. Chris DeWeese, he's got inside information from the driver, that number 8. These cars are extremely loose. By the way, Vintage Hiker says, let's go Beans in the chat. Vintage Hiker, thanks for joining us, as well as Cameron Ellis and everyone else who's chatting and tuning in tonight. Let's keep that chat going. What are you thinking of the racing so far? There's Josh Ward making his way down pit road. Sal, if you're Josh Ward, how good you feeling right now coming to get those fresh tires?
You got to feel really great. It's a breath of fresh air, a deep sigh of relief for Ward. I mean, this is a move that all these drivers are going to be looking to make here in this window, and getting that fresh fuel is going to make them feel even better. He's been really, really fast in that 92, really consistent all night long, putting down some great lap times. These fresh tires coming in a little bit ahead of the leaders here, really going to be a benefit to him, as Rye Jones now down pit road, getting ready for his stop.
Rye Jones, Devin Jack not too far behind, as well as a few more, a handful of cars, the 31. There's also the 20. I know that 20. One car sideways, that might have been Chris Pierce. Yellow flag is out. Big turn of events here under the pit cycle. Several cars. Now, if you're one of those cars who have pit, if you're a fan of a driver that just came down pit road, do not panic. We're going to talk about why that might not be as bad as it looks as we try to find out what happened to the 25. And Sal, I think we've seen another victim of a bad pit stop entry.
Yeah, I think it's just so hard to judge. I don't envy these guys one bit. That apron is so angled, like just going down to that flat is so difficult to judge at the speed that you're coming off that corner. You don't want to slow up and lose a ton of spots just entering pit road, but you don't want to slide it and have to bring out a caution either. But unfortunate for him, not a surprise that we've seen that a few instances tonight.
So right now, Aaron Smith with Justin Wilson back in second place, catching up to the pace car. You can see a few cars going by. Let's talk about these pit stops, then we'll reset and talk about strategy. Right now, your top 4 coming down pit road, really unencumbered behind anyone behind them. That's Scotty Sobczak leading tail end there. They've got about 10 car lengths further back. As we watch the race on pit road, you can see those live pit times. We're going to keep an eye on which driver has the fastest pit stop. Now, you can't necessarily control how fast your pit stop is in terms of what your crew members do, but you can help by not sliding into your pit and getting a good angle. So there are some things these drivers can do to get those pit stop speeds down. Several drivers already out of their pit stall. Aaron Smith looking like he's going to win the race off of pit road. Justin Wilson and Scotty Sobczak racing to the line with Chris Smith as well right there in the top 4. And it was actually the number 42 who had the fastest pit stop that time, and that was Paul Thomas, sitting back there in a cool 28th. But I think there might be bad news. I think he's got a pit stop. We're seeing Josh, a black flag, maybe a pit road violation for the 42, but Josh Ward, fast pit stop. You can see it there. Crew got to work on that thing. Now, this is going to shake the standings up. Let's talk about, Sal, what exactly we're seeing. The top 20 had not made their way down pit road when that caution came out. Okay, so top 20, they were still on the lead lap. Meanwhile, you had 21st Rye Jones, who had come down pit road. Devin Jack, who had come down pit road just a little bit earlier. Those cars got their lap back. All the way through 26th, Robert Brobst got their lap back. You have to go back to a few other drivers like Paul Thomas, Steve Vest, Derek Fiquet. They had come down pit road as well. They're probably going to take the wave around. They're going to be at the tail end of the lead lap. They're maybe going to have a few laps older of tires, but I think they're going to be okay given the circumstances. I don't think anyone's race is not over because of what just happened.
No, by no means. I think you're absolutely right. Even if you are in the back of the field here and you've got a little bit of an older tire, it can't be much older than what these leaders are going to be working with. And being at the rear of the field, while not ideal for track position, does give you the opportunity to kind of lay up a little bit and understand how you want to manage your run and save a little bit of tire in some circumstances, depending on each of these drivers' individual strategies. So if your driver is migrated toward the rear, have no fear. They do still have just as much of a fighting chance as everybody else here tonight. As you know, we have a long way to go in a short race. We're over halfway, but by the time we go back green, we'll be looking at lap 60 of 110 here at Atlanta.
We're going to hear from one of the drivers right now, getting one more lap of pacing. Let's bring Chris Smith into the broadcast booth. Chris Smith, driver of the number 28 Stand-Up Fight Series Ford Taurus. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, Ellis, Sal, and Kobe here in the booth. It looks like it is a wild race. Handling on these cars has gone away early. What are you experiencing out there? What's the crossover point on tires?
Yeah, it's really loose. Crossover point's probably about, I don't know. It just depends on how hard you're pushing. For me, it was around the lap 25 mark. Just felt like I really got out of control a little bit quicker in the race than we did in practice. But track temp's up to 122 right now, so it's pretty steamy out here.
All right, man. Good luck. We're going to let you get locked in for that restart. We'll be keeping an eye on that 28 machine.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You too. All right, so you heard from Chris Smith. Hot and steamy out on the track right now. Conditions for good racing, but difficult handling for these drivers. On the front row, it's going to be Aaron Smith and Justin Wilson. Smith's going to be the control car. As soon as he enters that restart zone, it's colored on the wall, he gets to decide when to mash that throttle and to bring the field under green. This could be an opportunity for a nice restart, or Aaron Smith could get a little tricky, maybe wait till late in the box, maybe a stack up. This is a dangerous juncture in the race for a lot of drivers. Pace car going to pull off. Aaron Smith in that Geico restart zone goes halfway through. Clean start for the leader, Justin Wilson second. Chris Smith looking to the inside, trying to find room for second position as they head down into turn number 1. The battle is on for second position. The driver we just heard from, loose handling race car, but right now making it look good as he sticks it to the inside of the driver of the 58 car, Justin Wilson, headed down into 3.
Yeah, Smith and Wilson do not want to let Aaron Smith get to work and get away here, but what a great restart by the 70 of Aaron Smith there. Really had everybody going for it. Just great job by the field not to stack up there. We saw some drivers get close. These Gen 4 cars, the shapes of these noses are unlike some of the other Cup cars through the eras of NASCAR, where they can disturb the rear of a competitor's car much, much easier. And at a track like Atlanta, where tires are so precious, and we just heard from Chris Smith about how hot and loose things really are out there on track, you definitely want to be mindful of that contact, as we have some side-by-side battling happening here, throwing caution to the wind. What do you think?
Caution
That's pretty
to
good.
the wind, indeed. I just hope we don't see a caution. One car of the wall, riding on board with Rye Jones right now. This is tight racing. That car that we saw struggling just a minute ago, the 21 of Ryan Hinkle, but you can see Jones working that inside, working his way by Jay Heishman in that 06 right now. Rye Jones is in a hurry to get back up to the front. He was one of those cars caught out. He had come down pit road, was a lap down, had to start at the tail end of the pack after getting his lap back, getting the wave around. That 91 has a tall task in front of him, trying to get by that 06, the steady hand of Jay Heishman. The 91's going to make it stick, but big action right in front of them. Braxton DeWeese almost contact with the 17 of Dan Berg. Man, I'm getting nervous for these drivers right now. Too wide as far as the eye can see off of turn number 2. That's 10th all the way through 20th.
There's a lot happening. It is a hornet's nest down there. You see Braxton DeWeese going to take this 3 wide here for a moment with Rye Jones up on top trying to split that 9 of Peter Stewart. Oh, man, the 20 LeBeau, he's going to go with the 8. I mean, you just can't look away at this. I'm not sure if I'm more excited by the idea of these guys making moves or waiting for a yellow flag. It's unreal racing out here right now.
And you know what's scary to me is we rode on board with Josh Ward just a moment ago. Cars fanning out down the backstretch. We were on board with that 92. He was 3 wide. I couldn't see that from that perspective, but it's a battle for the lead right now. That's the best perspective in the house on the track. It's Aaron Smith and Justin Wilson for the first time. That 58, the first ever Slingshot Racing League champion, darts to the inside. It's a battle for the lead. Can the 58 make it? Sticky climbs to make it contact. The 2 leaders contact side by side down the backstretch into turn number 3. Justin Wilson has the edge. Can he hold on to it?
And if you're Chris Smith right now, you are licking your chops watching these two battle it out. Chris Smith going to make some good inroads here, but Wilson going to fight on that bottom line. We've talked all night about that, how that is kind of the better line. The 70 going to have to stay a half a lane up here, run the middle of the track. Will be interesting as they're still nose to nose for the lead.
The tight battle continues down the backstretch. These two drivers, one might argue, two of the most dominant drivers in Slingshot Racing League history, two champions side by side. It's settled for now up front. The 1, 2, 3 are Aaron Smith, Justin Wilson, and Chris Smith, but good heavens, if you're the number 52 or anyone in the back of this pack right now, this is all going on around the 11th, 12th, 13th position and further back. It is getting hairy indeed. Watching cars rip around the top of the track. That's Peter Stewart in the 9. He's working on Johnny Rapp to his inside. Meanwhile, they've got birthday boy Sean Johnson, and now enter Jay Haishman in the 06 into that battle, almost 3 wide for a moment. Drivers, they just got to be careful right now. Give each other a little bit of time to get separated, but the temptation, the flip side of that coin, Sal, is now's the easiest time to get those positions and get them for cheap.
Yeah, the harder you push, though, it's that balance. It's having that egg under that throttle. We saw the 49 there cook it just a little bit too hard. Coming out of 4, ends up losing the spot to the 11 car. It's going to be a battle of who can be consistent, who's going to try to push, who might make a mistake, as these cars are just 3 wide at some moments, fanning out, then back 2 wide. I haven't seen this much action here at Old Atlanta in these cars in a long time. And these drivers, the best of the best, putting on a show.
Watching Devin jack around on that wheel right now, sawing it left and right. You can see the steering correction, the counter steer, the left, right, just minimal motions by that driver, but you see they got to be as careful as possible. You saw the closing distance to the back of last week's winner. That's Brian Brobst in that number 11. He's currently running, I believe, in the... actually, Brian's further back. He's in 28th. That car is a lap down. So quite the turn of fortunes for Brian. It was, the thrill of victory last week. Right now, an agonizing lap down performance for that number 11, looking to claw his way back in. Maybe just get the lucky dog if a caution is to come out here. Brian continues to hold tight to the outside of Devin Jack as they work their way down the back straightaway right now. That's a tight battle, not for position, but certainly pride and bragging rights on the line. Johnny Rapp just behind them. Moving further up through the field, you're watching Rye Jones just work his way past. That was the number 84 of Laura Wiseman. She is a driver, Sal, that I don't know if you've seen a lot of her races, but she just continues to impress me. She gets better and better every single week and is continuing to really be a regular face up there in the top 10. So that 84, Laura Wiseman doing a great job. Made it tough for Rye Jones to get by her there just a lap ago, but willing to settle into that 9th position. Rye Jones is the biggest mover so far on this restart, up at least 10 spots, Sal. We saw him do it in the last restart. Time is of the essence. With just about 38 laps left, we're almost 2/3 of the way through this race.
This one has really been flying by. These drivers able to keep it clean and green for most of this race, aside from the one pit entry close call that we had tonight, but not a tremendous amount of damage for these drivers as they've been able to really run each other competitively and very respectfully all evening long. It's been great racing to watch. We're seeing why this track is so beloved by fans. Oh, it looks like we've got a taker here coming down pit road. Perhaps something going on there with that 23 machine.
Zach Mitchell might have had a black flag. Not sure what that black flag is being shown for the 23 right now, but he comes down pit road in that Mad Viking machine, parks it at least for a moment. Further back through the field, looking at the 6th position, that's a battle that's beginning to heat up right now. Samuel Stoner in that number 65 machine continues to make inroads against the 88 of James Danforth, but they've got Patrick Colby right behind them in that number 87. This is a battle that's picked up over the past couple of laps. James Danforth, we've seen him in victory lane. He's a constant top 10 runner. Sam Stoner, it's been a while since we've seen him in Slingshot Racing League, but this old boy made it look easy in the 87 cars. And Sal, I think there's a little bit of a comparison we can make between the 87 NASCARs, those vintage cars, in these 04, 03 machines. I think there's something to be learned, and Sam Stoner really kind of showing that right now, I believe in that 65, as we watch his corner analysis, corner tracker, compared to the driver in front of him, James Danforth.
Yeah, these cars definitely comparable to the 87s. It's one of these deals as he looks to make that move to the inside there, taking a peek. High horsepower applications, cars that get loose quickly, and tires that wear out. That's something you see in the 87s a lot of the time. It takes a lot of patience to drive these cars and not get overzealous on that throttle. And you see how that's paying off with that corner speed here, as that 67 car is making major progress.
Major progress indeed, but behind him is another driver. We've been on the lookout. That purple machine has entered the chat. He is now up to 7th. Of course, we're talking about Rye Jones. He has been the fastest car on the track consistently for the past couple of laps, passing cars left and right. Well, mainly to the right, because that car has been working the outside as we continue to ride on board. Look how close he gets to the wall, within about 6 inches, I would say, on board that 91, and he's using that to his advantage, making 3 passes here in the past lap and a half. Look at the momentum that 91 gets on the corner as he sails by the number 88 of Danforth down into 3.
Yeah, that line that Rye Jones is running right now, he is absolutely in the throttle just for more time than some of these other drivers are, really arcing it out on the exits of the corners. That's why you're seeing him get so tight up to the wall there. It's that delicate balance. How high can you get to the wall before the wall comes down on you? It's one of those deals in these cars that if you can master it, you'll put yourself right back up at the front. And that's what we see Rye Jones doing, as 20 of LeBeau there getting in a little bit with the 92 as we watch battles throughout the field develop, and patience wearing thin. Lap 78 now of 110 here at Atlanta.
A little bit of contact there for James Danforth off the corner there, but right now watching this battle with Dan Berg and Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese on the inside in a hurry to get back up front. Dan Berg having a great run. He's a driver we've seen on and off in the Slingshot Racing League, and the improvement I've seen out of the driver of the number 17 car, running in 12th position right now. Kudos to him. Tough week last week at Daytona, out early, first caution of the week, but right now he's holding a pretty wheel, that driver of the number 17, as we watch him circle through turn number 3 and now on the front straightaway. He's going to lose that position to Braxton DeWeese, but a fast little racer there in that 17, holding fast in that number 12 position. Behind them, they've got Josh Ward and Dylan LeBeau. Dylan LeBeau, we've seen loose all over the place tonight, but somehow he's managed to hang on to it, hanging around in that 14th position. I think he's going to be in a hurry to get by these 2 guys in front of him. One of the faster cars on the short run, but right now 23 laps in, Sal. This is exactly when the driver we heard from under that lone caution we've had, Chris Smith, said the crossover point he thought was around lap 25. And what we mean by that, that's when these tires start to go south. That's when they lose some of the feel good and drivers really start to struggle to make that car stick and be able to point that nose exactly where they want it to go. And I think you're starting to see some comers and goers. Dan Berg might be one of those goers, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, the second run always seems to materialize a little bit better for drivers now that they have kind of an understanding, a feel under their feet at race speed with competition around them. Maybe I'm wrong as we see them continue to get a little slippery there, but you feel like they have a better understanding of the car as they go longer in the run and can make better moves throughout the pack. So really good racing all night long. I don't know, just it's if you can drive a loose car fast, you're driving a fast car fast, because the more time you can get on that throttle, the more power you can put down, the better off you're going to be. We've seen that with Rye Jones in particular here tonight in this battle, even with the 8 Braxton DeWeese, as he looks to complete a pass there and continue marching his way back toward the front after a little bit of an early slip and slide that kept him out of the battle for the lead.
DeWeese working that high line right now, just made his way by Matt Kuntz, Kuntz in the 13 car holding a pretty wheel. Kuntz started all the way back in 34th, Sal, in that number 13 car, situated in 11th position, just a spot behind Braxton DeWeese right now. It's looking pretty good. This is his best run of the season. These 2 races we've seen so far. Matt Kuntz, super nice driver, about as courteous as a driver as you're going to find, and that's tough to do, to get up to the 11th position here out of 36 drivers who gridded up tonight. to drive like a gentleman and knuckle your way up to 11th is speaking volumes of that 13 car's talent here on the track. Watching Dan Berg work to the outside of Johnny Rapp, or maybe the reverse, Rapp working by Berg on the inside, slots into that middle groove on the track. Further up front right now, the battle for second position is a yo-yo of sorts. Back and forth, back and forth. Justin Wilson and Chris Smith, 2 Slingshot Racing League champions. Duel. I'm just looking through the top 5, and they've all won more than 5 races. We got 3 or 4 champions up there at the moment. And look at this, similar pace. Looking at our battle box, insights provided by Pierce Designs. Right now, Smith and Wilson running almost identical laps. Of course, they're about 7-8 car lengths off the back bumper of the lead, Aaron Smith, who's built that lead just a little bit over the last couple of laps. But look at this. This is going to be a tale of the tape, so to speak, Sal, in terms of what line seems to be working better. We talked about the efficiency of that outside line early, but as the run goes on, I'm curious to see how that kind of develops.
Yeah, it's like watching 2 races in one every one of these runs, right? These cars, the amount that the drivability changes over the course of a run is just so impactful on the strategy and how these guys are going to run fast lap times. So we continue to watch Smith there try to make that pass happen on Wilson. You can see how hard they have to work to make this work. And if you are Aaron Smith right now, you're loving seeing the battles happening throughout the field, as we saw Rye Jones pop his nose out there. You love seeing that because he is just driving off right now. Hopefully these guys get it together here, can give him a run for his money toward the end of this one.
I think we're going to see a barn burner of a finish. Just 23 laps remaining, folks. If you are just tuning in, you found the right place. We are glad you found us. We've been looking for you all night long. We're glad you finally showed up. What in the chat says, what kind of awards do you get for winning or performing well? Well, let's go through that. You get bragging rights. You get points, which count towards an overall season championship. There's $400+ worth of prizes for these drivers at the end of the season, and a cool championship trophy as well. So lots on the line for these drivers in addition to just bragging rights, and it's a battle going on for 4th position right there. Rye Jones gets the better of it. Move that 91 to P4. He's the fastest car on the track. Will he have anything for Aaron Smith? Just about 21 laps remaining. If you're watching and you haven't hit that subscribe button, folks, it doesn't cost you a thing. Hit it now, please. It helps us get these drivers in front of more eyeballs just like yours, and hit that like button as well. That doesn't cost you a thing either. We're super happy and grateful that you have decided to join us here at Slingshot TV. It's going to be a great race. You picked the right time to tune in. Look at that battle. Sobzak not letting go of Rye Jones, saying, I don't think so. Not yet. Not too fast, Mr. Rye Jones on the inside. There it is, Sal. That outside. You can be an absolute pest on that outside. And I don't blame Scotty Sobzak for doing a little mirror driving there and working that high line to his advantage.
Yeah, not at all. Sobzak was loose there when he gave the spot up to Rye Jones a couple of laps ago. Able to really hang on the outside, not just give him the position, but put himself in a place where he could make that progress back. And you see, he makes the move, gets right back up to the top where he knows he can make speed now as Rye Jones is battling with that 87 car. Again, the 87 really picked up a lot of speed after that pit cycle. Battling with the best in Rye Jones, the fastest lap out here turned by him here tonight.
Patrick Colby in that number 87, the driver you mentioned, really climbing his way towards the front. Started 12th. Driver number 87 is up to the 18th on the grid tonight. 12 positions gained, one of the biggest movers of the race so far. That driver out of New Hampshire by way of Alabama is having a great run tonight in that number 87 machine. Still working to get back to Rye Jones, who's right now listed in the 5th position. They're all chasing Aaron Smith. And up front, I wanna focus in on this battle and maybe get that battle box up, because what I'm seeing is Aaron Smith is really kind of gaining and then losing. And you can see that reflected on the pace right now. Justin Wilson, that bright purple machine, not too far behind, is experimenting, Sal. I'm curious to see. Smith goes to the inside this time. Looks like Wilson's going to follow suit, mirroring each other's lines. It looked like Wilson had been apt to try the outside line in turns 1 and 2. Let's see right now if he's going to make that same decision. Still a similar pace. Aaron Smith just can't get away. And yeah, there goes the 58 to the high line. Curious to monitor to see if we see any picked up time. Look how loose he is off that corner, Sal. You said a loose race car is a fast race car.
Yeah, he's slipping and sliding there, but absolutely a loose race car is a fast race car, especially here. But it's just knuckling up and keeping yourself on that wheel as long as you can, being able to make that progress. And it's Wilson who's really in a position now to kind of mirror Smith, who's been really, really quick all night long. Chris Smith also going to benefit from that, as well as, you want to find where drivers are making speed. Where is the competition fastest? And then also, where are you comfortable and where is your stuff versus their stuff? And finding that balance is so hard to do in real time. We sit here, we talk about it. Very easy to armchair analyze these decisions, but in the car at 180, 190 miles an hour as this race ticks away, lap number 95, not so easy.
And one thing, I know it changed there for a minute, but it said 16 laps projected overtake from Justin Wilson based on current lap times. Again, those are just AI projections, okay? But you know how many laps are left in the race? At that point, there were 16 laps. So I think we're setting up for something special here. Car handling at a premium, and we're seeing two of the absolute best. Duel here with just under 15 laps remaining. Thank you, Strat O Jr., for the subscription. Al Ferrara rooting on that number 56 of Phillips out on the track. Giving a little update on Phillips. I'm looking to see where Phillips, 24th for Jacob Phillips. So a top 25 run in a stout field. I know 25th isn't where you normally want to be running, but in a field of 37 drivers, half of them with wins under their belt in Slingshot Racing League, this is a champions and winners series. And right now, 24th is looking pretty good for that Jacob Phillips fan. Al Ferrari, appreciate you tuning in, as well as everyone else. In that lead, it's right around 0.4 of a second, and there is 10 laps. Sal, guess how many laps there are to go? Just 12 to go. And there it is right now, folks. You're watching it. We are setting up for something special. I'm having flashbacks of 2001 Atlanta, potentially. Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick. Are we getting ready to see something similar here?
You sure could be in the right place, the right time here, watching here tonight, because if the projection is right, and sometimes it is, gives us at least a good idea. These drivers are going to be door to door coming out of turn 4 here in just a few laps. Wilson just absolutely has been working that wheel over and over to make time. We'll see just how much progress he can make on Aaron Smith here. It's going to be a tight one.
Aaron Smith has been given the go-ahead by the crew chief to mash that throttle, whether he was saving or not. He's starting to open up a steady gap on Justin Wilson. We saw Justin Wilson picking up just a little bit here, a little bit there. That has since stabilized for the driver of the number 70. He's continuing to build that lead right now. It's at 0.7 of a second. That's about 10 car lengths or a little bit more on the track. And Justin Wilson now has Chris Smith creeping into the picture, not too far behind him. You see they're running a similar pace. Smith has tracked him down in just the last couple of laps. We got another Jacob Phillips fan, Franchise 3 Gaming, in the chat. Welcome in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss this race or any of the other remaining 13 races on, or 10 races on this schedule. It is going to be a wild one as we watch Smith look to the inside of Justin Wilson. Just 10 laps left. Did any of these drivers have anything for Aaron Smith?
Yeah, these are the moments that these races all come down to, as we see Smith there getting low on the bottom line. Wilson running him pretty tight, but able to keep it going straight here as Chris Smith going to sail it off here into turns 1 and 2. Has made a ton of ground up, but just when he looks to make that pass, things have been a little bit more difficult. That car been fast all night long. I wonder if the strategy now is just put your foot down and go. We've seen that from Aaron Smith as well, as he's driven away. He's now just about a second and a quarter out in front of the leaders, or in front of the position 2 battle here between Wilson and Chris Smith. As we continue to click these laps off, now just 8 to go here in Atlanta.
Just 8 laps
seven
remaining.
to go, sorry.
7 now in the Peach 165 for the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. A Champions and Winners Invitational Series has seen some of the best racing all season tonight at Atlanta. Aaron Smith continues to lead the way, but we've seen some tight racing. A good little battle going on right now between Johnny Rapp and Samuel Stoner. That's for 11th, just a little bit further back from these drivers. They've been doing duel for the last couple of laps. It's Stoner and that light blue machine to the inside, with Johnny Rapp and that Mission barbecue machine now making his way by on the outside. Rapp on the move. Stoner really loose down there, almost cut it through the infield grass, is able to hang on to it, but back up front, it's Justin Wilson now leading a train. Braxton DeWeese, let's not speak too soon. There's only 7 laps left, but DeWeese now in traffic. If he can get by Justin Wilson here in the next half a lap, I think he might have something. They've got the 42 to get by. Thomas, wrong place, wrong time as they got ready to pass the lap car. Didn't do anything wrong there, but those drivers just came up on that 42 in a hurry. DeWeese now trying to save it to the inside. He's got Chris Smith to the outside. He's got to get that thing back up underneath him, as that was a tense moment for the leaders. Aaron Smith just about 1.9 seconds up on second place right now, but this is anything but settled. A caution could come out at any moment, or Braxton DeWeese might have a little something. He's been running about 5 tenths faster. Sorry, not 5 tenths faster, but a couple tenths faster over the last 5 laps or so. So DeWeese now looking for a third, trying to get by Chris Smith in that number 28 there. He's going to have to slide back into the 4th position. You can see just how difficult that outside line is to get by right now. So we watch DeWeese. Also with Scotty Sobczak joining that fray. I've just been amazed all night, Sal, at how close this racing has been. Door contact between DeWeese and Smith. DeWeese desperate to get by. And I think that might have been a byproduct of throttle and handling on the front straightaway as well.
Yeah, I saw DeWeese there a lap ago really get slippery there on the bottom of the front stretch entering turn 1, and he is really pushing that car, pushing himself to get these spots. It looks like he had a monster run before that lap car kind of stalled things out, but he's not over yet. The 8 making another great move here on Justin Wilson. He'll go to the bottom, and he'll get the spot. Only 2 laps to challenge Aaron Smith. It's quite a gap, but never say never as things are heating up here at Atlanta.
That's Braxton DeWeese making his way into second place. He's been the second best car arguably all night long. We got fans of the 8 in the chat as well. Another Braxton DeWeese fan, in the chat. Appreciate you joining in. Chris Smith, Justin Wilson, you're seeing a great race right now for the 3rd position. 2 laps left. Aaron Smith is well out in front of this. Pending a caution or pending a mistake by Smith, this is his race to lose. The battle right now, the story is really for 3rd place as Braxton DeWeese continues to build a lead over Justin Wilson and Chris Smith. Scotty Sobczak trying to work his way by the inside of Justin Wilson. The handling has gone away on that 58 machine. Used up a lot of juice early on in the run. Is just trying to hang on for the 4th position right now. Back up in front, it's Aaron Smith. And Aaron Smith is a champion, a multi-time champion in the Slingshot Racing League, chasing another one this season. He's out front, sails it down into the turn number 3 and turn number 4. Tonight, it was the Peach 165 in Atlanta, but it's been all that yellow banana machine up front. Aaron Smith wins race number 2 of the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. Second's going to be Braxton DeWeese, Chris Smith. Cars colliding across the line behind them. Smith's going to be third. I believe that might have been Justin Wilson and a handful of other machines. The 81 of Sobzak also heavy damage as they crossed the line. That was a battle for the 4th and 5th position. Big finish, awesome race, says Cameron Ellis in the chat. I could not agree more. Folks, a wild finish, but an even wilder race tonight at Atlanta. We're going to hear from those top 3. You get to put a voice with the car in just a moment. We're going to take a pause. We're going to hear from a partner or two, and we'll be back in a jiff for those post-race interviews so you can hear from those top 3 finishers and maybe another driver for good measure. Stay tuned, folks, as we watch Aaron Smith celebrate win number 1 of the season.
Ready, set, let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I've been on the way up cause they know I'm popping. Hits, no misses. Clean up like the dishes. Ain't no point telling me to stop cause I won't listen. Every level got a new devil. I'ma give them hell cause I don't know better. I'm a born winner. I'm going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to make me ever give up. Let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm getting close. I can taste it. I'm going up like a spaceship. I'm shaking the ground. I'm making it loud. I go to work when nobody's around. It's time to get it. It's time to go. It's time to shine. It's my time to blow.
Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wondered why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Back here live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, just concluding the Peach 165 for Slingshot Racing League and the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. Ellis Thomas joined by Sal Nicosia in the Slingshot TV booth with producer Kobe working the buttons behind the scenes. You're looking at Chris Smith's car, and that thing looks clean after 110 laps of a hard-fought battle in Atlanta. Chris, you got third place tonight. Walk us through just how tough it was. I don't think TV could convey it tonight, how difficult it was in those cars.
Yeah, it was super tough. From the drop of the green flag, you could push it pretty hard if you wanted to, but you were gonna dearly pay the price as the run went on. And from about, maybe about lap 5 on in the run. I probably wasn't full throttle down the front stretch for the rest of the night. It was, and that was a good way to kind of save that right rear a little bit, but you were still going to wear it out quicker than you wore out the right front. And the trick was to try to, keep it as close as you could, and kind of started right there at the end, trying to work some different lanes to, and that was helping me a little bit to, try to cool that right rear a little bit and, get a little bit more temperature in the right front instead. But, we were talking in the break. I don't think I've ever worked as hard as I did tonight. It was tough out there.
And you made it look a lot easier on camera than it sounds like it was inside that real race car, man. Congratulations on the third place finish. Couple close moments. We saw a moment there when you were creeping back up on the back bumper of one car. I can't remember if it was Robert Brobst or someone else, but you had a chance where it looked like you might have been able to get into the back of them a little bit, but you showed some restraint. How difficult was the closing rate as you were catching cars that you were a good bit faster than tonight?
Yeah, it was tough, and it was especially tough, if those drivers are coming up on new tires. I know there was one point where there was a couple guys on new tires, and I was racing Josh, and it might have been at Braxton as well. I can't remember who it was, but I had I was kind of charging up through there a little bit at the end of that first stint, and I had a moment where I could kind of put it in the middle 3 wide, and that was not a good move. That was not a smart move. So we backed out on that one and lived to fight another day. That's kind of just the name of this thing right here. Survival. Until the end, 110 laps. And man, how about these drivers? I think that this was incredible. This was tough out here tonight, and these drivers here, man, they stepped up. I guess you could say they stood up and did an awesome job.
Oh, wow. Even when you're not in the broadcast booth, you got to get one of those puns in there, man. Good job. Well, congratulations on that thing, man. We're headed to Bristol next week. I don't even think we need to ask you if you're looking forward to that track and these cars. We know we've seen you win a Bristol race in the 87 cars, and I know those things handle somewhat similar. These things roll around. They're difficult to drive. We're going to be keeping an eye out for you next week. You think you got a chance?
Oh, yeah. I'm always excited to go there. A lot can happen there, too, so we have probably just as equal of a chance to get tore up there. But, yeah, we're going to think positive. I love racing there. Haven't done any laps there yet in this thing yet, so we'll see if we can get some laps in there maybe this weekend to see what it feels like. But I always like going to Bristol, especially in these, the idea of it in these Gen 4 cars sounds very, very intriguing.
All right, man. Any quick shout-outs before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I want to shout out to you guys for all your hard work that you guys do. I know that can't wait to go back and watch the show. Stand-Up Fight Series, UD Awards, Evan Pienta Designs. Got to thank Evan for the awesome paint job. Randy for doing the race control, Johnny, Robert, admins, Paul and Steve, my teammates for tonight. And like I said, one more time, just a shout out to all the awesome drivers out there for a great job tonight.
Hey, man, will you stood up and fought tonight? Chris Smith, driver of the 28th, third place finish. Go celebrate it, my fan. Good job.
Appreciate it. Y'all take it easy.
Yes, sir. All right, Sal, we're going to bring Braxton DeWeese, second place finisher in. I'll let you take it away.
Absolutely. Braxton, that was a heck of a race. You were up in the front, you were slipping and sliding, then you were back up at the front at the end. A lot happened in between. Give us a little bit of a rundown. You looked fast all night. How was it out there?
Yeah, it was real fun. With the Old Atlanta and having a higher track temp, it's definitely going to be a good time just in any car because it's going to be slipping and sliding around. And with these 900 horsepower Gen 4 cars, you're definitely going to be slipping and sliding around in general. But so it was even more, sketchier with the rear tires, having to save them and stuff. That first run, I definitely didn't save them as much as I should have compared to the second run there. Just wish we had stayed up there and kept a little bit of that track position so I didn't have to come from where I came from at the beginning of that second run to where I ended up. We ended up second, which is great. Just, you have speed like that at the end. You think you can, have something for the leader if you were a little bit closer earlier on and or just had an opportunity with caution. But, I was telling Aaron more often than not, these races, it's me doing something to myself and causing something to where I have to bounce back. It's like almost every race that I'm doing here recently. I'm just not as smooth as I need to be. Just got to work on it. Just got to put a little bit more practice. I'm not putting as much practice as I'm honestly wanting to be honest with you. We have an hour before each week, but it just depends. I usually am not sitting down for the entire hour, maybe 30 minutes max. And then on top of doing some of the graphic stuff I was doing here a little bit earlier, because I fell asleep and I was slacking, so I didn't get as much practice time with the session earlier. Just I gotta prepare myself a little bit better, not only for this but in real life as well. We raced the Thunder Roadster this past weekend at Winchester, and gonna be racing here beginning of October, but it's just kind of like the same thing. Just need to prepare myself a little bit better.
Well, the good news is here in the Stand Up Fight League, you've got a great night under your belt in terms of points, and there's still 10 races left in the schedule to really kind of iron it out and get yourself in a position where you compete for a championship, which I don't think anybody who's watched your race here before would be surprised to hear us say. You really had a full head of steam there at the end of that last run. What was working for you? That top line seemed really fast. It was really slippery, but was that the way that this track ran for you here tonight, that top run?
Yeah, I felt like if you ran the top earlier on, it probably wasn't going to help you. I was wanting to run the bottom, save a little bit. I saved for about 20 laps, and then I moved up to the middle. I'd start running the middle a little bit. I felt like as the run goes on and the more you moved up, the more you could stay in the throttle. Not only on the entry, but off the exit as well, which momentum and being in the throttle is just huge. And not only this racing, but just in everything. So to be able to do that and keep the rear tires on it, to be able to get on the throttle off the corner and down the straightaways was huge, especially off of 4. Off of 2 is a little bit better. You could stay, you could get in full throttle a little bit longer than you could out of 4. Just with 4, how it's just kind of like that tri-oval type or quad oval, whatever you want to call it. You're not really going straight, so it definitely just makes it on edge a little bit more than going on the backstretch. But yeah, I just was I knew I had to save tires if I wanted to make a run there if it went green, and that was definitely the plan, and glad that worked out a little bit. Just needed to have Aaron a little bit closer or get around a couple guys a little bit quicker, and might have been able to do something. I know it was about 5.1 seconds at one point. We brought it down to about 1.5 seconds, so it probably would have evened out if I got maybe a second to him. But you never know. Just got to make sure we're better at Bristol and trying to keep that track position.
Yeah, we talk about staying in the throttle and heading to Bristol. That's a track. Is that one that you like in these cars? Is it a place you feel like you got a chance?
That's a place I like in any car. It's Darlington and Bristol's like 2 of my favorite tracks. It's high speed. It happens really quick, and you can really get in a rhythm there. And it's, I don't know, it's like satisfying if you can get in a rhythm at a racetrack. I know for anybody that races or anybody like that does any of that, just does laps and laps. Like at Darlington, I can do laps all the time. Bristol, I can do laps all the time. Those are 2 tracks that I really enjoy racing at, and it makes me definitely want to practice more when you go to tracks like that. But we'll see how we do. Yeah. You can like a track, be really good at it, but then you can make a little mistake and it can ruin your race and ruin your night. So just got to prepare myself, like I said, and hopefully we could be one spot better next week. That'd be very good for the points.
Well, it's all about tight tolerances, and it was tight tonight, and it'll be a good race again next week. Braxton, great run tonight. Thanks for coming in the booth and giving us a little insight. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely want to give a shout out to Happy Karaoke, Interstate 4, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Allen's Arts Images, Deweese Renovations, Elevated TV, Short Track Report, Scrum Tires Media, Evan Piana Designs. He didn't design that car, I did. It's just a white car with logos on it. I need to see if he can get me a car made, but just been using all my money for the real life racing here lately, so we'll try to get that situated at some point. But looking forward to next week, and hopefully y'all have a good one until then.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Braxton. You too. Ellis, throw it back over to you.
All right, great interview, Sal. We're now going to hear from Laura Wiseman. Winner Aaron Smith coming up in a minute, but we're going to hear from 15th place finisher Laura Wiseman. Going to bring her into the booth right now. Laura, it's Ellis, Sal, and Kobe up in the booth. You got a copy in that number 84 machine.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh man, I don't know if we're doing as good as you. That was a tough race, but you held on and got a top 15. How was it out there?
Oh my gosh, my arms are dead.
That's what we're hearing from everybody.
My arms are dead. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Wasn't full throttle for most of that race, even on the front straight.
I was about to say, we heard it was tough on the straightaways, typically a place where we don't hear about the difficulty drivers are having, but mashing that throttle down all the way was almost an impossible feat tonight.
It really was, especially if you were trying to maintain position like I was in that second half. It bit me a little bit there towards the end. Was going 3 wide by myself a little bit there.
Well, we've noticed just in the past several races that we broadcast, we continue to see you climbing up further and further and being a constant kind of top 10, top 15 force. What do you attribute that kind of increased success to over the past 6 months or so?
Just practice, more experience, and little bit of luck too, because some of these races I haven't been able to complete because I've been getting wrecked or getting involved in wrecks. But that's one of the main things I've been trying to do is keep clean and just log laps and just survive.
All right, well, you have some more laps to log next week at Bristol. We're looking forward to seeing you out there. If you thought the arms were tired tonight, save them up, Laura, for next week at Bristol. You're going to need it.
Oh, gosh.
All right, have a good night.
Looking forward to it.
Appreciate you.
You too.
We are too. See you later.
Bye.
All right, so you heard from 15th place finisher Laura Wiseman. Now we're going to hear from your winner. Al, I'm glad to share this one with you. We're going to bring in Aaron. I'm going to let you kick this thing off.
Aaron, thanks for joining us up here in the booth. A win here tonight at Old Atlanta. I mean, you were out there in another zip code at the end. We watched drivers throughout the field, try to get their way up back to you. What did you have that everybody else just couldn't seem to figure for?
Yeah, after that first halfway caution, I had the clean air at the front. Had a few guys take some shots at me. Justin put up a really good fight. Rye, Braxton, any one of those top 6 could have won the race if they were in the right position there on the restart. But fortunately, I had the positioning. I was able to fend off the advances of the cars behind me, and I kept my tires under me and brought it home.
Yeah, we saw a lot of great racing. Guys threw it to your bumper all night long. Ellis, go for it, man. Sorry about that. What do you got?
Sorry.
What do you got for our man Aaron Smith right now?
Well, I it's been a while since I've talked to Aaron in the broadcast booth, so I felt like I needed to be in here just to say hi and congratulate you on that victory, my friend. We had a great time watching you out there tonight. You mentioned saving tires. It was kind of a difficult job. We saw comers and goers. You were one of the guys who were up front pretty much the entire race. Have your arms recovered yet?
Oh yeah, this is one of the nights where I'm very fortunate to have a G29. I'm feeling great right now.
No direct drive wheel for this guy. The Logitech setup is paying off, man. Well, good job out there. We're headed to Bristol next week. Any lessons learned from tonight, or is it a completely new ball game next week with a whole new set of strategies?
Oh yeah, it's a whole other monster. I'll be honest with you, my expectations with the setup, with the track temps, I was expecting a bunch of cautions tonight, but we went out and only had one. Not only did we make it past the initial start with all that wheel spin, but we also had 2 really good green flag runs with, in my opinion, some of the best racing this championship's ever had. So if we can replicate that in any capacity next week, it's going to be a great season.
Well, man, you absolutely did a heck of a job, and we were super thrilled to watch you. We're super grateful to have you doing our weekly videos for the Gen 4 cars. Any fans watching at home, running any of the Gen 4 car races, the officials on iRacing, we've got a whole playlist with track tutorials, and we hear from people weekly just talking about how much of a difference these things make. 5 minutes of watching Aaron's tutorials, and you're not going to be as fast as Aaron, but you're going to be a whole lot faster, man. We appreciate you doing that. Before we let you go celebrate the win, you got any shout outs for the folks at home?
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks for putting this championship together. The Stand-Up Fight Series, Phillips Wraps and Graphics, Probst Enterprises, Goon Squad, Evan Pieta Designs, RB Designs, JD Photos, High Ground, and UD Awards for pitching in and helping out this season. I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. Looking forward to hopefully coming back here a few more times this season.
Man, we're doing our best, and we appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you out there at Bristol. Go celebrate that victory.
10-4. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron Smith is our winner. We talked to our top three. Now we need to go through the rest of the running order. Then we'll bring you the live updated points so you can see where your favorite driver is. Sal, I'm running some technical difficulties. I'm going to cover the top 20 of the results, and then I'll let you finish it out while I work on a couple of those things. We heard from the top three, Smith, DeWeese, and then Smith. Smith and Smith. They're always in the same sentence, not brothers, though. Fourth place was Justin Wilson. We saw kind of a late race fade after a challenge in the final 20 laps from Justin Wilson. He settles for fourth. Scotty Sobczak, great top five tonight, wrecked across the line, but still scored fifth. Rye Jones, up and down. The story of the night, to me, one of them was how yo-yo that number 91 was in the work. He had to have passed the most cars on the track. Kudos. He holds on to a sixth position. James Danforth, seventh for that 88. Josh Ward, 92 machine, finishes eighth tonight. Patrick Colby, a tough fought, ninth position in that number 87. Top 10 for Matt Kuntz in that number 13. Big mover started 34th. He was officially your biggest mover of the race. 24 spots, and that is no easy feat here at Atlanta. Johnny Rapp, 11th place. He got Samuel Stoner in the last 10 laps. Stoner finishes 12th in that 65. Watch out for him at Bristol. Dylan LeBeau in that number 20. Early troubles, but he gets his way back up to 13th tonight. Devin Jack fast early on that upper line, that high line, but he settles for a top 15. 14th for the number 49. Laura Wiseman, you heard from her, 15th in that number 84. Chase Berry, not much of a factor, quiet all night long. Finishes 16th tonight inside the top 20. Sean Johnson on his birthday, the 32, finishes 17th. Peter Stewart in that 18, or the 9 car, hangs on for an 18th position finish. Ryan Hinkle is 19th.
Yeah, and rounding out the rest of the 20 competitors are in the 20th place, rounding out the rest of the field, I should say. That is the 56, starting with Jacob Phillips. We saw the 17 of Dan Berg come and go tonight. Ultimately, that 17 car ends up finishing in 21st, only in front of the 06 of Jay Heisman in the 22nd position. Jay Leach in the 2 car finishes 23rd. The 00 of Nick
Cesare.
Yeah, thank you. Cesare. I'm gonna take that one home and chew on it for a little while. The 00 of Nick Cesare in 24th. Chris Pierce, we saw him bring out that caution early on, struggled with the car all night long. The 25 in 25th. Here, the 5 car, Robert Brobst. We saw him making a run there late. He had passed leaders to get his lap back the hard way. Had some struggles here tonight in that 5 machine, finishes 26th. Steve Vest in the 60 finishes 27th. Brandon Ayers in the 16, 28th. Zachary Mitchell in the 23 finishes 29th. Derek Piquet, who had to hold on to a loose race car, had some trouble entering pit road in the 67 tonight, ends up bringing it home 29th. Joey Sankovitz in the 64 finishes 30th. Tom Lickert in the 99, 31st. Paul Thomas brings it home in 32nd. Benson Weaver, 33rd. Evan Pienta, a driver we saw at Daytona, run really consistently up at the top 5, really got banged around, was not able to really have the night he was hoping for in that 55 machine. He finishes 35th. Brian Brobst in the 11 finished 36th, and Jordan Ives in the 31 rounds out the field with a 37th place finish here at Old Atlanta.
Such a stacked field, so many winners. Looking through those 37 drivers out on the track tonight, at least 15, almost half of those drivers have scored wins, in many cases multiple wins in Slingshot Racing League. Before we mentioned, this is an invitation-only series, the best of the best that Slingshot has to offer. We're super excited to bring you the rest of the season. And speaking of season, the point standings are in, and Sal, we were talking about it. You mentioned it would probably be a big shakeup at the top, and you are absolutely right. Aaron Smith is the new points leader tonight. Scored first, moving up 15 positions with that win that did wonders for him. Chris Smith finished second tonight. Finished third, I should say. He's going to be scored second in the points. Justin Wilson, third. Devin Jack loses a couple spot. He's back to fourth. Matt Kuntz, fourth. Laura Wiseman, she moves up to sixth. Rye Jones up 13th positions from 20th all the way to 7th. Jacob Phillips, 9th, with Patrick Colby rounding out the top 10. We mentioned it. Daytona was great last week. We saw a lot of guys who aren't your typical top 5, top 10 finishers make it into that top 10 by the end of the race. They were sitting pretty in points tonight, but things got difficult as the race went on. You can see those season standings live and updated on the screen right now. That top 10, as we just mentioned, it is a tight battle, and that's only going to get tighter at the tight short track of Bristol next week. Sal, I think it's going to be wild out there. You are going to be here with Sky, who unfortunately was under the weather tonight, but I'm jealous of y'all next week. I might have to just jump in there and chime in a little bit because it is going to be a thriller in Bristol next week.
There's a reason it's the last great Coliseum, and I expect these drivers to go to war next week at Bristol. Just an unreal racetrack, especially with these cars. You know, watching back some of the old races over the last few weeks, you know, it's unreal what the passing power is. And talk about managing your run. This place is going to put even the best to the test. I'm excited for it. I would encourage everybody who's out there, make sure you're back. If you enjoyed this week, I think you're going to be even more eyes popping, jaws dropping, ready to race here next week.
Man, you guys are doing a great job on Wednesdays as usual. Tomorrow, if you enjoyed what you saw tonight, we've got race number 2 of the Mystic Racing League playoffs starting in the Xfinity cars tomorrow night. We're headed over to Atlanta as well. It's the new Atlanta. It's going to be a little bit different than what you saw tonight. It's going to be just as exciting of a show. Chris, who we heard from earlier, and myself will be calling that with Johnny in the production booth. And then on Monday nights, we've got the Spark ARCA Series, the UD Awards ARCA Series running on Monday nights. That was a great race. We've got Daytona, our season opener, next Monday on the channel as well. Tune in every single night you can, folks. We are super grateful that you found us, whether you were a longtime viewer tonight or it was your first time. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button. Those are 2 absolutely free ways you can show us that you love the racing that you are seeing every single night. Folks, Sal, owe you a debt of gratitude. You're doing a great job on Wednesday nights, and we look forward to seeing what you continue to do as you grow here with Slingshot TV. And then Kobe, of course, the true professional in the booth. Every camera angle you saw tonight, every graphic you all saw on the screen was operated expertly by Kobe Jordan, our producer from the land down under. We appreciate you, Kobe, and good luck for the rest of the season, my friend.
Yeah, really looking forward to this year here. Awesome to be in the booth with you here tonight, working with yourself and Colby, and I'm excited to see how this championship shapes up as we're heading into the really one of the most exciting parts of the schedule here in this next 10 races.
All right, folks. Well, we unfortunately, that's going to do it for us tonight. We had a great time with you. We hope you can say likewise. Next week, next Wednesday, we're headed about 100 miles north to Bristol. It's going to be the last great Coliseum. We're going to see the Gladiators on the track for the Stand-Up Fight Series Invitational. Make sure you visit that Stand-Up Fight Series website. They've got some great Muay Thai kickboxing. If you're into that, it's amazing to watch. If you've never watched it, do yourself a favor. Tune in, watch some of their YouTube content, tune into their live fights. We promise you won't regret it. It was a fight tonight. It's going to be a fight every single night for these 37 competitors. Have a great night, folks. We'll catch y'all next week. So long from Atlanta.
Fellas, go have a good day today. Like I said, load all the fans. Thank you guys for coming out here. We got a great crowd today. Everybody listening at home.
If you push, I'm defiant.
Everybody enjoy
Just
the race.
try it. It is bound to get violent when you walk this way.
Do it. All 4 tires facing the same direction at the end of this thing. Ready? Green, 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 green. Good, baby. Put the pressure on that. You know what? You get him. Crash behind you. Just past halfway, bud. Just past halfway. A lot of racing to go. Take care of your stuff. a car up there at your next spot. Hit him. Yeah, man, let him come to you. Don't push him. White flag, nice and smooth.